You didn't see that my client Angelique Fawcett was a threat in any way to Nichelle Nichols?
Initially, I could not make that determination. Subsequently, I made the determination that she was not a threat, nor was there any potential for harm.
She saw no threat, no potential for harm.
And that would be part of your duty, of course, as a conservator, to determine what's in the best interest of the conservatee when it came to all aspects of care, financial and otherwise, and whether such visitations would be in her best interest, correct?
Well, I would like to answer the question by saying that I am a mandated reporter, which means that I am legally required to report any incidents or potential for elder physical abuse or financial abuse or harm.
She is legally required to report any financial or physical harm, any financial or physical wrongdoing.
At that level, there was absolutely no concern, financial or physical. But my team did subsequent interviews with Ms. Fawcett, and that is how, and we did research. I did not know her before, so I have contacts in the industry, and she has done her principal work in Los Angeles. So we reviewed her background, and looking at her charity work and other efforts, we did not have any concerns. If anything, it was the exact opposite.
If anything, it was a what?
The exact opposite.
As far as the financial issues you were discovering, was Angelique Fawcett's name coming up as someone involved in any of those transactions?
Yes, her name did come up.
When did it come up?
When Kyle Johnson presented her name to me.
When did he present her name to you?
I engaged in face-to-face meetings with Mr. Johnson, and at the first face-to-face meeting, he indicated it directly.
What did he tell you about Angelique?
I'll just object as hearsay, but obviously you can proceed.
I can't remember his exact words, but he expressed concern, and he also expressed that he had heard that she had been involved in some way with a GoFundMe account. But he did not provide any documentation or hard evidence.
What was the nature of his concern? Was he suggesting that there was financial wrongdoing?
Leading objection.
Kyle indicated that he had concerns about the GoFundMe account. He was very specific in that he reiterated a number of times that he wanted the GoFundMe account looked at. He also requested, or he told me, that he was going to have other parties send me information that indicated some wrongdoing.
Did you ever receive anything from any other parties?
Yes, I did. I received one email, and it indicated that I should look into it. But there was no documents or no substantive examples of anything. It was just an email from a friend of the family that indicated I should look into it.
Did Kyle raise any other concerns about Angelique Fawcett with you at first meeting, other than his suspicion about the GoFundMe account?
Yes.
What else did he tell you?
He said that he did not like her or did not care for her. As I indicated previously, my case assistant and I had regular meetings with Kyle because he was conservator of the person. During those meetings, we had a review of the case and of the condition of the conservatee. During those meetings, Kyle frequently made comments, negative comments about Angelique Fawcett.
What sort of negative comments do you recall him making?
And if I can just ask if I can have a running objection as to any hearsay without having to make every hearsay
Sure.
objection. Thank you.
Kyle indicated to me and to my case assistant that he felt that Angelique had taken GoFundMe funds. He also indicated that he didn't trust her. And these were part of the dialogue in the meeting. So it wasn't one meeting, it wasn't two meetings, it was a number of meetings that where that was part of the report giving process.
Now, at some point, did you advise Kyle Johnson in the future that the GoFundMe funds were received by you or access to them?
Yes, I did.
Let's go back to these meetings. How often would you meet with Kyle Johnson and your case assistant early on when you were still conservator?
Early on, and I would say in the first 2 months, we met by phone 2 to 3 times a week, and we met in person once a week. Subsequent to that, on some weeks, it would be a phone call twice a day. On some weeks, it would be 3 or 4 times, calls would be 3 or 4 times a week. And then also, there were frequent emails. After the 2-month period, the numbers of meetings in person declined, but there were regularly scheduled weekly phone meetings.
So how many times did you defame my name and good character, Kyle Johnson? I guess I could add up the phone calls, the emails, the text messages, in-person meetings. I could add everything up, and then I could determine how many times you defamed my character and to how many people did you defame my character to. Did you think I was going to let you get away with it? I guess you really thought I was.
How many times did Kyle Johnson bring up the GoFundMe issue in these meetings and calls?
I cannot give you an exact number, but I can make an estimate. It was more than 20 times.
The definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. You asked 20 times to see if there was a different result than what you were hearing. You didn't like the fact that Angelique had taken no money whatsoever, so you kept asking over and over and over and over again, hoping that BJ would tell you, oh no, she did take something, but she never did. And so here you are asking over and over again. That's the definition of insanity, Kyle.
What other sorts of complaints or issues would Kyle Johnson bring up about Angelique Fawcett in his meetings or communications with you?
That he didn't want her to have access or visit with his mother.
Did he ever explain why?
He didn't like her. And he gave no reasons for why he didn't like her.
So maybe Nichelle Nichols' son was upset because she decided to give me away in marriage to my husband. Maybe he was upset because we held hands when we walked in the garden. Maybe because every time we left each other, we said that we love each other more than more than more than more than more, and then would double that by 10,000. When someone loves your mother and you're not in the same space, you're not in the same state, you should be grateful that you have someone there that will look out for him. I wished that Kyle Johnson had just done what his mother had said. That would have been the best, because then there'd be no court cases, there'd be no money spent, there'd be no drama, there'd be no public anything. It would just be a son taking care of his mother, and that is it. And a friend that loved her